Yeah, hi there. These comments are for 3468. I'm using the last four digits of your student ID number, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder owner and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL iBT. And I'm looking at your integrated writing practice test number 8 right now. So you read a reading passage about fast food, you heard a lecture about fast food, and then you actually wrote, let's see how many words you wrote here. You have 322 words about these two sources, right? Alright, so let's take a look at what you have here. You have the passage. I'm going to say reading here. The reading passage discusses about fast food restaurants. I think that's a little bit wordy here, so let's get rid of this. Try to be as concise as you can here. So the reading passage discusses about how fast food restaurants contribute negatively to the health and diet of American citizens, and also how they cause many ill effects. So I'm going to use also how here, because you're basically using two noun clauses in a row, and that'll balance your sentence a little bit better. You have the listening passage. Separate that transition word of contrast by commas. Explains that there is a misconception that fast foods are the cause of many ill effects, and disregards disregards the reading passage's claims by saying, put apostrophe there, it's the lifestyle of people. But I don't know, it's really not just many ill effects. I mean, the whole purpose of the reading passage is to show how fast food causes obesity. That's really kind of the main thing. You might say this. So you say initially the reading passage points out that fast food is a leading cause of obesity. Let's see, because the food contains hundreds of calories and fat. Moreover, due to harsh economic times and busy schedules, I'm going to try to get you a little more concise. Cheap People tend to consume it more often. The listening passage contradicts this point by saying it's a misconception. I'm going to try to give you a little bit misconception that fast food directly leads to obesity. You might say here, consumers' sedentary lifestyle now we got to go back to what the lecture is saying here. I think there's a point that you need to clarify here, so let's look at the lecture. So it is an active lifestyle along with eating too much. Do you see what we're saying here? So I think you want to also say that idea. So the listening passage contradicts this point by saying that it's a misconception that fast food directly leads to obesity. Maybe you might say it's a misconception that fast food is the, how about this, only factor leading. That's probably even better. That fast food is the only factor leading to obesity. Instead, consumer sedentary lifestyle, the speaker argues, you might want to say too many calories in a day Yeah, I think we have it there. All right, let's take a look at your next paragraph. So you have the reading passage also states that fast food contributes to, I'm going to put an unhealthy society by increasing diabetes, cholesterol, and heart disease. And heart diseases among people as they have few choices for vegetarian or fruit meals, unlike Chinese and Mexican foods. I'm going to say unlike what is offered at Chinese and Mexican fast food establishments. I think this is it more clearly expresses what is said in the reading passage. So let's go back and look at that for just a minute. So if we go to the reading passage, it says, It says society is unhealthy because the options for fast food are limited, although street food in countries like China and Mexico provide options with vegetables and fruit. So that's what you want to say there. And street food, fast food's pretty similar. The listening passage, I think you've used that word before, right? So let's use a different word. So in contrast, explains as salads, and fruits like apples. Moreover, the calorie count of each item is mentioned on the menu so that people are more informed. But you have to say this, in some states, such as California and New York, the calorie count of each item is mentioned on the menu so that people are more informed. But the way that you said it, it sounded like it was offered everywhere. Right? So if we check the lecture, right, let's go to the lecture here. You can kind of see it for yourself here. It says also in states like California and New York, the calorie count of each menu item must be on the menu so the consumer is more informed. So it doesn't mean that all states are doing this, but some states have passed laws to better regulate the number of calories, or to at least to better inform consumers on what they're eating. So that would be a little bit more accurate than what you said. All right, so let's go to our next idea. Okay, let's look at your the final paragraph in your essay. So you say, find where the reading passage says that fast food chains promote gluttony. I think we change this. There we go. How about this? You might want to say something like this. Especially since many establishments have started to offer free refills. We'll say here, other sweetened beverages. If you say have started to offer, it means that they just recently started doing this. They also made it as a sit-in restaurant, right? So let's look at the reading passage. How does that tie into gluttony? That's kind of what we have to do there. No, I don't think you're getting that right. What it's saying here, you have today customers at fast food chains have unlimited refills, free refills, and consume much larger amounts of soda and sweetened drinks. Furthermore, the large portions have even spilled over into sit-down restaurants. So if you want to use that idea that you said, you have to say, like, this practice of offering large amounts to consumers has also been introduced into sit-down establishments, thereby continuing to encourage gluttony. In society. That's probably how you want to say that. And that kind of clarifies the point a little bit more. So let's see what we have. This practice of offering large amounts to consumers has also been introduced into sit-down establishments, thereby continuing to encourage gluttony in society. The listening passage contradicts this claim by saying that fast food has always been part of American diets and is the choice of the individual whether to consume these large portions. And I don't even think you need this idea. It talks about the 21 thing, but I don't think it's that relevant. That's kind of a minor idea. You might want to say, therefore, should not be blamed for encouraging gluttony. I'm going to put this word in there too. So therefore, fast food restaurants, the speaker asserts, should not be blamed for encouraging gluttony. It is the responsibility of the individual to control So it is the responsibility of the individual to limit Okay, I think we have it here. So I'm going to read it with you one more time. Let's just go over it. Okay, let's read it one more time. So what I'm doing here, as you can probably guess, I'm rewriting your practice test to show you what you have to do to get 5.0 out of 5 or 30 points out of 30 on this particular practice test. Right, so let's check our word. We have our word count's a little bit bigger now. We got 364 words, right? Okay, let's go over the paragraphs one more time. The reading passage discusses about how fast food restaurants contribute negatively to the health and diet of American citizens, and also how they cause many ill effects. The listening passage, on the other hand, explains that there is a misconception that fast foods are the cause of many ill effects, and disregards the reading passage's claims by saying it's the lifestyle of people that is the main cause of their unhealthy lives. Initially, the reading passage points out that fast food is a leading cause of obesity because the food contains hundreds of calories and fat. Moreover, due to harsh economic times and busy schedules and the convenient availability of cheap food, people tend to consume it more often. The listening passage contradicts this point by saying that it's a misconception that fast food is the only factor leading to obesity. Instead, consumers' sedentary lifestyle, the speaker argues, and the consumption of too many calories in a day causes obesity. The reading passage also states that fast food contributes to an unhealthy society by increasing diabetes, high cholesterol, and heart diseases among people, as they have few choices for vegetarian or fruit meals, unlike what is offered at Chinese and Mexican fast food establishments. Maybe here you might want to say maybe street food. That's a little bit less formal maybe than a fast food restaurant. It's food that you can buy directly on the street, but it's still fast food, but maybe not a fast food establishment. That kind of implies it's a formal building or something. The listening passage, in contrast, explains that fast food establishments now offer more options, such as salad and fruits like apples. Moreover, in some states, such as California and New York, the calorie count of each menu item is mentioned on the menu, so people are more informed. Finally, the reading passage says that fast food chains promote gluttony, especially since many establishments have started to offer free refills of their sodas and other sweetened beverages. This practice of offering large amounts to consumers has also been introduced into sit-down establishments, thereby continuing to encourage gluttony in society. The listening passage contradicts this claim by saying that fast food has always been a part of Americans' diet, and it is a choice of the individual whether to consume these large, maybe, portions. Therefore, fast food restaurants, the speaker asserts, should be blamed for encouraging gluttony. No, should not be. Should not be blamed for encouraging gluttony. It is the responsibility of the individual to limit how many drinks he or she consumes. All right, so this is going to put you at 5.5 out of 5 or 30 points out of 30. Okay, so the question is, what's your score and why? Okay, so because I had to make a few changes with what you wrote, I can't give you that high score, but still, I think you have a pretty good essay. All right, so where is it? Okay, right here. I need to click on the link that's going to take me to the integrated writing rubrics that I need to use to grade this thing. Okay, here it is, right here. Got it, right here. Okay, the question is, can you get a 4 or higher? It says you have minor omission, inaccuracy, vagueness, or incorrectness of some of the content from the lecture or in connection to some points made in the reading. Your essay has more frequent or noticeable minor language errors, but these errors do not result in anything more than the occasional lapse of clarity or in connection of ideas. I'm going to say just below this area, and I'll put you in the high 3 area. I'm going to put you 3.75 out of 5 or 24 points out of 30 on this practice test. Now, for the purposes of our class, let's take a look at what we have here. So we have integrated writing here. I'm putting you at 375. That's going to put you at 85% on this particular assignment. Now, if you can, I don't think you've done any of the speaking practice tests yet, but start sending me those practice tests. I want to also give you some comments on your integrated speaking. And I think that's also going to be helpful when you take the TOEFL exam. I know that your score, you want to get over probably between 100 and 110. So I think you also need to get some feedback with your speaking. All right. Anyway, thank you for completing this particular practice test.